All right, good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be in time and space. Kenny is here. Going to do another cargo run today. But first, I definitely want to make you aware that tomorrow they're having a developer live stream. And right at the moment, I would have to say that the temperature in the community is hostile. And a lot of people have questions. And a lot of people are feeling upset right now. So, 10 Pacific time, I think, tomorrow, 10 a.m. So, I haven't seen any areas on the forums where you can submit questions, but I'm sure you might be able to ask some. Either way, it's going to be a big day tomorrow, so I recommend everybody tune in or, stay tuned. Find out what was said, what's going to be said. Also, yesterday, there was a hotfix, and the notes are up for the latest hotfix. But in doing it, they discovered another bug, and they said today there might be a short maintenance. I think it might be over now. But if you are experiencing something like where it says career mode is currently unavailable or under maintenance, just you might want to restart. Hopefully, I'm here already setting up that it allows me to do this. So I titled today's show Cargonaut and the Safest Bet because right at the moment, the only runs that seem to, the only missions I seem to do that don't have a bug in them in some fashion or aren't going to destroy my reputation are cargo runs. And specifically in the Cessna 172. So there was a lovely one here earlier. Now I don't see it. May have moved on. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, now I don't see it. Yeah, boy. Let's come back up here. Try it again. Let's rewind it an hour or so. See if that helps. There was one for 9,700. Yeah, that one will do. There may have been, another 1,000 or something. But right now, flying the Cessna is the only one that isn't causing me any problems. The de Havilland Beaver has that flap issue. The Draco that's just a little difficult for me right at the moment. Everybody says the jet, the little Vision jet, that one's okay. There's been a problem with the Caravan for some people. I've heard the TBM isn't working at all at the moment. I don't know. I'm not flying it. The medic missions are really long, 3 hours and 30 minutes. Gads. I did qualify for the aerial firefighting last night, and I did do the certification, the scoop certification, and then I did the mission. So if you want to watch yesterday's, I got that all taken care of. But my reputation tanked. And at the moment, I don't have access to any of the firefighting, which I wanted to do today. Try some more of that. So we'll try to get a reputation up, and I think you have to have a rep to do it. Oh, and yesterday, a lot of errors at the end of that medic flight. Everything was going stellar till we got near our destination airport. Then it seemed like the GPS, it broke route and started sending us west. And then trying to make it go back, the plane was just all over the place. Trying to use heading or reset the GPS. So learned a lot. That when it comes to the medic flights, trusting the plane to turn to headings by using heading knobs and or resetting nav, even with yaw damper and the bank limiter on, it really caused the patient a lot of stress and trauma. So best bet to just make sure you fly areas that are going to be doing a lot of turning by hand, probably, And be careful about it coming into the destination airport and losing its way. Are you leaving?
Yeah.
All right, take care. You too. Okay. Somebody said the autopilot wasn't working on the 172. Now, I haven't had any problems with it yet. So that was news to me.
Hi there. It's Pamela. Now that you're all set up, let me
Pamela.
details with you. You have consumer goods behind you.
I do.
Time critical shipment for our client site. Expected in no time at Sterling. Our skids are built to handle slight turbulence, but maintain a constant flight speed and adapt to changing conditions. A prompt and safe delivery is key for the success of our business. All relevant information is in your flight packet, which is uploaded on your map as a reference. Safe flying, Captain.
Okay. Some things you want to be aware of if you haven't done this yet. Jumped into career mode. One, they're a stickler for taxi speeds. So
Kilo Alpha, Echo, Juliet, Traffic Kin, Bravo, Bravo, Foxtrot 139er is taxiing to runway 15.
although you can skip, some people are like, I don't even care anymore. I'm speeding through them and I don't care. I'll take the hits. Well, you're going to take a big hit. You're going to take big reputation hits. And then again, that could affect you doing other things. So do it if you want. Some people are like, well, I'm glad we can just skip. Well, cool. But you're going to take a hit to how much you're going to earn. So there absolutely is a penalty. Well, there are bonuses, not necessarily penalties. You get all your bonuses for not skipping. Okay. So general rule, they don't want you to taxi any faster than a fast walk. And I tend to let things get away from me sometimes, so I'm trying to be more aware of that. Now, as far as flying the route that they give you, I've been trying it both ways. Using heading and setting my own altitude and not trying to fly through the boxes. And I have to honestly say that at the moment, I don't seem to get all the bonuses and the highest scores. I do seem to get all the bonuses and the highest scores if I end up flying through all the boxes. Okay. Overflying airports. I've gotten dinged and will probably continue to get dinged. I haven't seen anything pop up telling me to request a transition through the airspace. I'll be more vigilant in looking for things like that and paying attention to the map as I'm flying around. Using the communications and answering messages. Here, how to explain this one. Okay, sometimes you might use like this. You might want to tune automated weather or use this communication box to contact them, asking for, a flight following or whatever. And then when you answer responses in the communication box, sometimes it doesn't reflect at the top. What I mean by that is sometimes they might tell you to change your squawk code. Okay, so if you answer in communication saying, yeah, okay, I've changed my squawk code, acknowledge, blah, blah, blah. Well, up at the top, it'll still remain there. So I don't know if they fix that. But sometimes responding down here doesn't exactly register up here.
Kilo Alpha, Echo Juliet, Traffic Kin, Bravo Bravo, Foxtrot 139er, taking off runway 15 departure to the east.
My only warning on other planes, let's say, the Draco, she's just wild in general, powerful. 1,000 horsepower, so just be careful in general. It seems to be, let me go back to, I'm talking about specific planes at the moment. The excuse me, I still got a cold. The Beaver, it, as of last playing, still has the flat bug. And I think with the Draco too. So even if you're going taxi speeds, it doesn't matter. If you raise or lower your flaps, it'll tell you that you've exceeded the maximum speed for the flaps, and it'll penalize you. So be aware of that. The Beaver in general, and I hope they've fixed it or will fix it, but right now I'm gun shy because the brakes. Somebody set the brakes to superhuman, and so when you tap the brakes in the Beaver, even going taxi speeds, or you hit the brakes and lock it to slow down, she'll tip right over on her nose. And so that now makes not only taxiing at proper speed, you got to be really quick just tapping your brakes, but after you've landed, you can't hit your brakes. You've got to slow to a stop and hope that you've got enough runway, or be super quick. Again, tap, 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 tap. But at those speeds, just tapping can cause the plane to flip. And so that's not been a whole lot of fun. Okay. Let's see what we can discern about where we're going today. That was part of my mistake yesterday. Just get too comfortable. They made it so easy to just get in, let's fly our mission and not plan anything or do anything beyond what's here. But it actually looks like we do have a flight plan today where they're leading us in Calm, HIDM to FETUB, and then to the runway. Let's see what the flight plan looks like. Semip, FETUB, Hidma, Column, Pub. Oops. So we're going to KSTK. All right, Henning, I just saw Henning pop into the chat room and pop out. All right, sir, you have a great day. Good to see you. Okay, Sky Vector. Okay, what do we have here? We have, we're going to KSTK. And it looks like they've got us set up for RNAV, GPS, runway 15. Okay. RNAV 15. Hey, come on. So I'm saying, I'm not saying the right approach. Am I? Was it Judney? There's Zetax. Let's see. No, FETUB, Hidma, Comb, and Pub. Huh. I don't see any of those. Not a bit of them. I don't see any of them. So let's come over here and see if they actually have an approach procedure. RNF 15. And let's Zetax. Okay, so Kubri and Zetax and Tumble. There's Zetax. Or Kubri. Okay, so it comes in from Kubri to Zetax, and then we come this way to Judney, to Joral, to runway 15. Okay, so Zetax. So all right, so when we get to pub, oh, I hope I have that right. Okay. The aerial firefighting was a trip. I crashed a couple of times trying to land on the water. I'm not really sure. I swore I had my nose up, and you know, I'm used to doing water landings. I'm not new to them. And then a couple of them went okay. Hello, come on, plane. You know, now I know I weigh a lot, but we're tipping over a little bit too much. Okay. So according to them, they want us climbing at 75 knots. Okay. Sterling. All right, so we've flown here before. We're in Colorado. We went to Sterling as one of the ghost towns during Halloween. Just to pay a little bit more attention to where we're at. And they probably don't want me rolling that hard with the cargo. So yeah, man, the community is, to say the least, heated and hostile right now at the launch of 2024. And, you know, everybody's like, well, that's what happens when you launch a new thing, and, you know, it's to be expected. And so on the launch, sure, stuff happens, all the different computers in the world to try to make sure everything's compatible with it. I'm starting to agree with, well, maybe not. I agree with some people that say that, well, maybe it shouldn't be on Xbox. You know, you're bringing the whole thing down. But with MMOs, there's a way to deliver the right experience to the right platform. So, you know, I don't know about that argument. I really don't. Technically. Bugs, yeah, I mean, it's horrible. I mean, thankfully it hasn't been too bad. You know, there are the obvious bugs that you gotta wonder, like, how did this get through Q&A? How could the beaver or the brakes have escaped people's notice? These simple little things. But again, if they're all resolved, then I don't really have a problem. I think my biggest problem right at the moment is I don't know what the full extent of the career mode is going to be. If this is all it is going to be, or then I'm very disappointed, because I've just spent the last year doing these Skydude live streams with the NEOFLY career. That was the whole point of the Skydude stream, is to embark on learning how to do a career stuff in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I had never really done a career mode. So that's what this live stream series is all about. And I never thought that when they said they were going to do career mode, that it would be less than the capability of NEOFLY. I mean, they're Microsoft. They're the biggest, you know. They're the biggest. They're the biggest, the best, sir, you know. So their career mode stuff it's going to be AAA, right? Because NEOFLY is just, you know, it's not very expensive. Not an expensive piece of software to add on to your flight simulator. And you can get company mode, and you can get as many pilots as you want, I think. And sure, you can do some of those things in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but setting things to passive and just expecting the AI to run flights for you, that doesn't seem to be working for people. There's no manual control. I guess you can't pick the jobs that you want for them. And that seems a mistake. And I don't know if you can pull up the stats at the moment for your pilots. I'm not in company mode yet. I haven't done it because I've just I'm hearing all the people crying now, like, and they have one little mistake, they're broke. And so I'm building up a nest egg first before I go and create a company, to make sure that there's enough there in the bank to cover all the insurance. And if something goes wrong with the plane, at least an extra $200,000 to get a new plane. I'm hearing the planes are terribly expensive, but that's par for the course for any of these career mode things, I think. But there's no markets. And again, you can't assign your pilots jobs, and that it's based on what, like, at the moment they're saying it's based on how many missions you're flying. Well, it shouldn't be. You're the one running the company. I have no idea, again, if some people are saying my pilots all do their work and I make a lot of money. Some people are like, I can't get mine to work and I'm not making any money. And I don't know what could be causing that. Again, I'm not doing it at the moment. But one thing that has crossed my mind is a lot of people are like, well, you don't have to do all the preliminary flying requirements before taking a test. And I have no idea if the pilots that you choose to hire are in some way, their skills are reflected by what you've achieved. If it is, then it kind of makes sense that people that have skipped all the training stuff and just taken the test, like I did pretty much, that the people that they hire, if it's based on kind of like how good your stats are, then it would explain why they might not be having such an easy time of things. I don't know. So anyway, tomorrow's, I'm sure, going to be eye-opening, and I've got my fingers crossed. And 2020 was so amazing, and I don't expect that this will be, in the long run, any less amazing. So I have to believe at the moment that it's all going to get better. And I hope that career mode, this isn't it. This isn't maybe the full ability. With NEOFLY, you can pick whatever plane you want to fly. You might not make as much, but you're allowed to pick any plane that you have. And right now, I can't use my Skyvan. And I don't know if I'll be able to use. I don't know that you can buy it or rent it, or I have no idea yet. I'm going to find that all out probably going into next week. I should have enough money built up. I can start doing the career mode, the company mode stuff, and start being able to answer questions better about that. But I've been very disappointed that I haven't unlocked the Skyvan at all. Just doing these as an option now that I've got all the multi-engine ratings and I've got almost everything. I've only got like 3 more certifications to go. Some of them I don't think you need until you're like level 90, so no hurry. Oh, you know what I've done? I'm supposed to, I guess it also gives you, once you're in cruise, if you keep it around 2300 RPM, it can be awful slow. All right. Let's see if the nav lines up today with... No, I don't think so. It's already not lining up. Column. Yeah, it says columns that way. That makes no sense. Let's see. No. Yeah, we should be going to column. Hidma. Hidma. No, it says we're at column. No. Huh. It's like we're flying the wrong way. Okay. Do. Oh, that's crazy. So yeah, the boxes are saying fly over here, and our nav is saying no, fly this way. Do a flight level change. So yeah, this one's not matching at all. Oh, there's Colorado Springs right there. So I can't say at the moment what it's doing, why it was telling us to go to Sterling. But I followed it. And I'm stupid, I guess. I don't know. Oh, my nose. So anyway, yeah, tomorrow ought to be very, very interesting hearing what Jorg has to say. I cut him a lot of slack because they're, they really are doing things that nobody's done before. In a lot of ways, they are pioneering. And it's not your standard video game. And some of you may not like hearing that. I say, well, you're an apologist, man. You're just being an apologist. Well, this isn't a normal, it's not a video game. This is a simulator with a lot of working parts. It's an MMO, and yeah, I mean, all the components that are going into, that they're trying to deliver, from satellite imagery, LiDAR, the photogrammetry, all the live weather, media blue, all the live traffic. So I cut him a lot of slack where that's concerned, because Lord knows that's insane. Nobody else, I mean, nobody other than us needs that kind of supercomputing. Everybody's like, I can't stand the fact that it's online only, and I kind of understand, but then again, I don't. So I'm just looking to hear that if, is career mode done being fleshed out? Is there going to be more to it? They don't have markets, as far as I know. I've asked people that are playing company, I'm like, what about the markets? Can you buy and sell at different airports? No. I haven't heard anybody saying, that I can use any plane that I want. Again, I still don't know about that. If you're doing company mode, let me ask you, can you, now that you own a company, can you use planes that you purchased? or only ones that are unlocked for career mode. Because, again, I enjoy doing cargo missions. At the moment, they're the safest bet. But again, I specifically bought the Skyvan because the cargo capacity of the Skyvan is superior to the Caravan. I love the Caravan, but the Skyvan is awesome. That should definitely allow me to move cargo without having to go up to an airliner or a jet. Oh, also the refueling thing. It's best to toggle yourself a repair and refuel key. Somebody said you can do it by increments of 25%. I just use the repair and refuel and top it up. I don't know that I'm going to need to cross over those mountains. I think we're going to be making our turn before that and heading out east. But we're almost there. So yeah, nice weather in Colorado today. Nice and warm. No snow. I don't know when our next snow is going to be. I look forward to it though. Always. Somebody on Twitter was pointing out today, how come these areas of the United States have no major cities and they kind of focused on, I think, everything east and kind of north and northeast? And I'm like, jump into a simulator and fly around. You'll quickly understand why. So much of it looks like Badlands. I mean, so much of it looks like not even as good as this. It's very, very rugged. Our interior is very, very rugged. And you get more stuff looking like this than you do like this. Lack of green is a big thing. And then if there's no large bodies of water around, people don't necessarily like that. So a lot of the interior spaces where we're not developed, it's easy to look at it and go, who in their right mind would want to live here? There's nothing attractive about it. Although I think that after flying around for a while, everything is beautiful. It's just the eye of the beholder. But for the most part, you really have to have like hardy, rugged people that really enjoy living in a really rugged country. And so it is completely obvious to me why up until this point, people have avoided settling in areas like that. That is not to say that people haven't settled in areas like that, but usually much closer to larger areas outside a place like Victorville or Ridgecrest or Bakersfield. But you're not too far from water and other luxuries. So we do have lots and lots and lots of space. For anybody who is into that, the world is overpopulated argument, they've never been in a simulator. And if you have friends like that, I think it would be a good idea to have them fly around or have them tune into your live streams and fly around for a while and point out that right now, look at just where we're flying. As far as the eye can see, you're not seeing a major city anywhere. There's probably stuff all over the place out there, little tiny things. But nothing major. Nothing's popping out. This is most of the world. This is what most of the world looks like. It's empty. If there wasn't gold found there in the past or some resource, then yeah, chances are we weren't there. Even today, what's the reason? What's the economy? What are you going to build out there for? What are you going to do? Other than just living, why would you set up out in the middle of nowhere? Because we have cars and planes, and we're going to have VTOL soon, and the world's becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, and we'll be able to go out, and now it's not such a big ordeal to live out in some of these places. But up until now, yeah, no bueno. Ugh. So I'm not really inclined to buy the overpopulation thing at all. I'm amazed as when I was in Europe flying around and doing the Alexander the Great tour, just how empty over there is in most places. So flying around all these ancient sites that have been active since the beginning of our history on this planet, and those places aren't all filled up, all Borgified and industrialized, and recently, Elon Musk has been talking about that. Exactly, saying the same thing, that I don't think you people realize how big the world is and how little our footprint is. We're all conglomerated into large cities, and for people that live in those kind of places, it must feel like it's completely full up, and they think that that's the way it is for the rest of the planet. And absolutely not. So it's funny that he's getting pushback on that in any way. No, he's absolutely right. And that's why I can't say I'm I've never used that. We're full up with the immigration argument. I'm not opposed to immigration at all. As a matter of fact, I think we need it. But there's the right way and a wrong way to do things that our founders and other wise people have things that they've talked about, like on how to do it right. And the Democrats, surprisingly, used to be so good at it. Common sense isn't really common these days. But back then, the Democrats were amazing. They're like, you know what? We need to put 1 million people to work. Let's do a great works project. We're going to build highways connecting all this crappy land, all this good stuff. We're going to build this, and we're going to build that, and we're going to build this. And they could mobilize hundreds of thousands of people to do these projects. So before inviting in the last, I don't know, up to potentially 15 million people, they just told them, come here, just come here. Disregard the laws, and, you know, which is just so dangerous at this point in time. All that national security stuff is absolutely true. And being a fan of history, it's been true that when the liberals take over power, they end up having the same argument. Open the gates to everybody, open the gates. All the way back to ancient Sumer. You know, we have to... We each have our strengths. And one of the things that, you know, when they get into power, the ability to say, well, open the gates to everybody. And they have personally caused the collapse of most every great empire and nation in known history. It's that kind of thinking. It's that when you get so liberal and you say, open the doors to everybody, we need to be kind, and that's all great. But, you know, there's also a reason why the warrior class exists. And they're there to remind you that, look, that sounds great, but not everybody's a good guy, and not everybody that is coming is coming to help. Some people are coming for entirely the wrong reasons, and you've got to be aware of that. So again, throughout history, it's happened over and over, that cyclic repeating where the very liberal will take control and cause a collapse. You also have to be worried about the word democracy. Something I never thought I would have to say. But the greatest golden ages that have ever happened on this planet for the most nations and empires in time, when they've entered a golden age, it is usually done under a very Republican form of government. The Republican forms of government usher in the most golden ages and have provided the best for the people. Republics usually devolve into democracies, and then democracies devolve into anarchy, and then you have a collapse. And that's history. That is the cyclic nature that we've been up against this entire time. And that's why everybody's saying it just keeps repeating, because it keeps happening over and over and over again. They'll collapse, and then finally people are like, well, we can't do that again. We can't be so liberal. We need to straighten up and do things right. And then they usher in another golden age. And then here come the liberals again, and they take over and they make everything collapse. Not to say that they don't do good things, or they don't we don't all serve our purposes. It's the imbalance. And them usually not recognizing that once they usually get in power, they're like, it's us or nothing, kill everybody else. They are weird. They're weird. They're different. They're very, very different. But, being kind, showing mercy, having compassion, all that it's beautiful stuff. It's beautiful stuff, but you can't live with blinders on. The universe is a cruel place, and it will be for some time. Changing the subject today, the aliens are supposed to invade. I don't know. Everybody's out there saying, well, what time is it going to happen? Because I've been standing here for hours with my camera waiting for the aliens to attack, and they haven't attacked. Darn. Do I believe? Yeah, sure. Sure, I believe in aliens. Do I believe they've been here? Yeah, maybe so. Do I believe that everything people are saying is alien? Not at all. Not at all. So I learned many years ago that Nikola Tesla tried convincing the United States government to skip putting all their money into the research of jet technology. He's like, don't do that. That's a waste of money. Just skip jet technology. Let's just go right to my electromagnetic flying platforms. What? Yeah. By 1917. He was already working on Wi-Fi. We could have had cell phones. We could have been tweeting probably around 1920 had the government some people don't know. They don't understand the technology. They don't get it. Things advance too rapidly for some people. They don't get it, so they just, till we get our heads around this, we're just not going to let this go public. And they did that with cellular technology and other technologies. But Tesla was right all along. He's like, one of these days you're going to be having a device that you slip in your pocket and you can open it up and have video and radio, whatever, communications with people and audio, video, and instant communication. So anyway, I'm not inclined to believe most things as alien right off the bat. Even the things that I've personally seen. I've seen glowing orbs in the sky, moving through the sky with black helicopters following them. And I know for a fact that we don't have helicopters here. The military does, but we don't have like police helicopters anymore. They sold them at one point. I guess we were broke. I don't know if they've got any new ones since, but we don't really have them here. But the military bases around here do have helicopters. So yeah, I've seen globes of white light moving through the air followed by helicopters. And not just once, I've seen it repeatedly. People around me freaking out saying, it's aliens. And me, I'm thinking about what Nikola Tesla's talking about, my flying electromagnetic platforms. And I'm like, well, it'd probably look just like that. A small one. If it's ionizing the air around it in any way, it's going to create that, the illuminance, the illuminating effect. I have to say it was fantastic because it was solid state. They weren't flickering in any way. The light around these objects weren't flickering. It was like a light bulb moving through the air, a steady state. So I was thinking they were doing EM drone tests because it didn't seem much bigger than a drone. Again, it looked like a perfect ball of light. So that's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, they're just following one of their new EM drones, probably testing it out. They're going to eventually have to break out the Tesla tech because, you know, eventually 100 monkeys get smart enough and somebody in the public sector is going to be doing it. NASA over the years, last decades, have been releasing lots and lots and lots of technical papers as well. And those technical papers also include a lot of concepts on electrogravitics. Then there's the whole Carol Rosin, Werner von Braun thing. So Werner von Braun was father of rocketry. He was a Nazi. And after World War II, we brought him over here to become the father of rocketry here. And he helped us get to the moon. So he ends up telling this lady, Carol Rosin, before he died, that the government was, you know, the plan, what the world leaders or our government had planned for the future was control, and they were going to use terrorism as an excuse and viruses as an excuse. And she mentioned potential asteroid threats as an excuse. And then she says, and the last card is the alien hoax. We need to weaponize space. And he and she are very into, and others are very into against weaponizing space. Now, I don't know fully where I stand on that because I believe in the warrior class. Whether it's weaponizing space against other jerks on this planet, to defend against jerks on this planet who can't suffer us to live at all. You can't live with them because they're too fanatical. At the end of the day, they absolutely say unequivocally that they will kill you. You're not supposed to live. Yeah, so you got to watch out for people like that, don't you? So for that reason, I'm not entirely against the idea. I think if things are coming from outer space, there's probably not a whole lot we would be able to do. Because right now, our people have got everybody convinced that we can't even navigate the stars yet. We were all raised. Every single one of us was raised recently to believe that traveling in the stars, although it's in our television or science fiction and yada, 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 that we can't do it. That traveling light speed, you know, infinite power, and you can't have infinite power and then have infinite speed, and then you're going to have to fold space, and it's impossible. I don't think it's impossible at all. I think we can do it. I don't think we're going to be warping space. Not like they describe it. Let's fold a piece of paper and then let me stick a pencil through it and see, that's how you fold space. Really? So I'm going to grab all of that space in front of me and I'm going to pull it towards me like a piece of paper and I'm going to stick a pencil through it. That's it exactly. But we need infinite power to do that. Yes, yeah, you need the infinite power. Okay. Nah. Maybe. But now we're talking about harnessing powers of like a sun. And we're not doing that anytime soon. So if something's coming here that can actually harness the power of a sun, yeah, what are we going to do? We just better cook them some damn fine barbecue and some damn good fried chicken. And how do you do? And play nice. I don't think they're going to be warping space either. I think they're going to be using the concepts that we're starting to learn about today. The electric universe theories, plasma physics, plasma astrophysics, plasma cosmogony, plasma cosmology. Not a lot of people are talking about that. But the ones that are pointing out that, you know, sometimes when two people with two very different backgrounds, when they look at something, they don't see the same things. They don't have the same points of reference. So to a gravitational astrophysics person, what they see going on out in space, based on what they understand, they build these constructs. They theorize that what they see, they try to explain what they see. And they seem awful smart, and because a lot of us aren't as smart as they are, we're like, okay, cool. So that's the way it works. So that is usually the way it works until a better theory comes along. But then history has shown us that the new theories always have to go through so much suppression before they take over as the dominant new theory. And that's what's happening in astrophysics right now. Because now the plasma physicists are involved. And they're describing what they're seeing based on what's going on out there. Now they've got the leg up at the moment because they're actually going back to the laboratory and trying to reproduce it, and they're getting results. And that's part of science. For your theory to dominate another theory, well, one, it has to be reproducible and it has to be scalable. And the gravitational people can't do that. They haven't been able to do that. They can't go to the laboratory and show us how gravity is working so much. They can't explain. They can't reproduce a neutron star. They can't reproduce a pulsar. They can't really even reproduce the effects of what's going on in the sun the way that they describe it. They can't reproduce it. People have been trying, but nobody's done it. But the plasma physicists are now starting to, again, get involved, and they're doing it. So the basic concept that I think people would help people understanding today, and maybe even make people feel much better about their place in the universe, this concept that the electric universe people always talk about, that everything's connected. So we were taught growing up that space is a vacuum and everything's just functioning because of gravity and nuclear things going on. And that they don't talk about the connectedness of everything. They don't speak in terms of electricity and current and currents. You'll hear things like string theory. But what does it mean? Well, string theory I don't think is so far off as far as a way to describe something. There are all these currents that they're able to detect now and visualize with different scanners. There's these electric currents that connect everything to everything. All the way from us, all the way up to the biggest things in the known universe. There's an electric current. So us as biological entities, we're connected too. Check my GPS. Good. Almost at pub. We're connected too. And because you can generate thoughts, those thoughts can transmit from you into these currents, and they can travel all across the universe. You have power. I get offended now. I used to never get offended by people saying, screw your thoughts and prayers. What good are thoughts and prayers? And now it's like everything. Everything. They're everything. They're far more powerful than you think. But we don't talk in terms of thoughts and prayers these days as physical forces or a force that can change something. So somebody said that was a conspiracy, that they don't want you to feel connected to the universe. They don't want you to feel that there's potentially any connection between you and a creator. They want you to feel cut off and isolated and alone. And they want you to think that Earth is a bubble, not connected to anything else. That way they can kind of get you to believe the climate change stuff. Not that climate change doesn't happen, just that we have nothing to do with it. Again, it's driven by cosmic forces. Powerful, 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 powerful cosmic forces that control everything. Shoot. All this chatting, and I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, and we hit our altitude quite a ways back, and I did not lower the RPM back down to 300. Okay. Pardon me. So snotty today. I was around some frolicking dirt children this weekend, and I picked up something. One of them was running around being awful snotty. Anyway, if you've never heard of any of this stuff before, I really recommend just typing in the Electric Universe on YouTube or the Thunderbolts Project. I mean, if you want, anyway, both of those are going to lead you pretty much to the same place. Electric Universe and Thunderbolts Project. I really recommend looking into the Sapphire Project now too, where they're doing a lot of laboratory experiments. I think you'll be overjoyed to learn all these things. If all of these things in science have bothered you your whole life, and you felt deeply in your core, you felt there's something wrong, that it doesn't feel right. All these ideas they've been foisting on us as we've grown up, something about that just doesn't feel right. There is a philosophy out there that we can feel truth. That we've given the ability to, we have BS detectors. I suppose not all of us. I've been easily conned in the past. Gullible, naive. So I want to remain incredibly hopeful about where things are going. I'm hoping that for the first time in history, we're going to be one of the first nations on Earth to at least defy for a while, potentially defy history, and not collapse entirely when they thought we would. I'd like to shake it up. I would love to be the generations that do that. In that, you know, the United States of America, that all these beliefs that, well, if we have a highly educated people and we teach them all the right things, we can avoid history repeating on us. So for a while there, in a lot of people's view, that no, the historians are winning. They're absolutely winning. They've got us nailed. They know to the year pretty much, they predicted when we're going to collapse. And they've been recently, over the last decade, sitting around, sadly but smugly, going, see? Told you so. Get my RPM back up. Starting to fade a little bit there. And so you can understand now, maybe some people, when they seem like, oh my God, the world is ending, to them, yeah, kind of. A lot of these people are going to say things like, you know, history repeats itself. They're very worried about that. Or we need to protect the Constitution. We need to protect the Republic. And that's where they're coming from. That we can't devolve into a lesser form of government. That wasn't that's not what we're supposed to do. But we're doing it. We're devolving. And that de-evolution into a democracy in time has always led to anarchy. And everywhere around the planet, you can, in just the daily news, you can kind of get that feeling that all of these knowledgeable nations that are doing the very liberal thing again you can see that anarchy seeping back into their societies, including our own. You can definitely see it. So that's a truth. That is a historical truth. So we have this window, an opportunity here right now at this exact moment in time as a country where we can possibly defy history. So some people are going to say, I'm sad the way that the voting went, and I hate you if you voted that way, and this, that, and the other. And the only discussion I want to have on is the collapse of the country, the collapse of the nation, and argue it from that point of view, or debate it, or discuss it. So right at the moment, I have to be very thankful for the way things are going, because we're out of balance. And liberal-mindedness has gotten people into so much trouble and caused so much pain and horrible things to happen when there's an imbalance. As with any other psychological imbalance in our own systems as entities, when you have psychological imbalance, you can exhibit a whole lot of strange behavior. So I've got my fingers crossed. I really do. I don't know that it's going to be easy. I would like to believe, because of the way things went this time around, that the system did work. That even though it might be failing right now, we're very confused, that the system worked well enough to educate enough people across the board that enough saw what was happening and had no choice but to vote the way that they did, to try to put things back in balance. And to some people, that's going to seem, again, heavy-handed. Oh my gosh, you this and you that, and you heavy-handed this and blah, blah, blah. And the deepest apologies. I'm sure it seems that way. If we don't, we're going to be in the same situation as everybody else before us. And it's the same people that are fighting us today that end up writing all the music and all the songs and all the poems that ask what happened. How did everything collapse? Where are our great rivers now? Where are our highways now? Oh, why did we open the gates to everybody? So yeah, there's poems from ancient Sumer that are just like that. Why did you open the gates? Where are our highways? Where are our great waterways? So they used to have, again, highways for transportation and waterways for transportation. They were moving lots of cargo about. They had a very advanced society. Envy of everybody. And then it was the liberal minded that took over. Sometimes the unit class will do it too. You know, again, like the deep state. There are all the people that run all the crap for the king and the leaders. And when they have an opportunity over and over through time, the bureaucratic class, the eunuchs, the servants, they get the idea that they should be in charge. Well, we're running everything anyway. Aren't we the smart ones? We're the smart ones. We're the ones actually doing everything. And they convince themselves, and they usually have these quiet coups all the time. Pick a nation, pick a time, pick any generation, and you're going to find one of these where the bureaucratic class, the servant class, the eunuch class, where they've come in and taken over and over and over again. So if it's not them, it's others like them that say, you know, again, open the gates to everybody. Everybody deserves to have the life that we have. Just open the gates. And that's exactly what's going on right now across the world with certain countries. They're like, well, we're trying this open the gates policy where it's open borders and you should be able to go wherever you want. And unfortunately, we haven't achieved world peace yet. Darn it. Sounds good, but there's right ways and wrong ways. Our founders told us, don't do that. Don't have periods of time where you just open the door and flood everything in. You have to allow a group in and then allow and make sure that they're going to assimilate. And you've got to give them time to balance the system. So our founders prescribed long periods of time where there's no immigration. Well, considering how many they've just let in now, yeah, it's probably a good idea. We close the doors and do what the founder said, or again, you can unbalance everything. You're going to cause so much problems, so many problems to everybody that, it's horrible. And again, they didn't plan it right. They didn't have all these great works projects all set up for the last 10 years, broadcasting it every night. Hey man, these are all the states where the great projects are going on. Here are all the map locations. Open up your cell phone and type in Great Works, and it's going to show you on Bing and Google Maps every place where there's currently a Great Works project going on right now. And if you go to one of those places, you've got a job, a place to stay, and we got stuff to do. Come enjoy that American dream. And you give them places to go. You don't pick them all up and bust them into New York City and then put them up in hotels. And think that was better than saying, come out to here where Kineas is flying around now and participate in a Great Works project and help build a town. And heck, you might own the McDonald's there next. Get in early. You could be the mayor. That's what I mean by no common sense. Not doing things right. And that's how I think you can tell that the government isn't working right. If they were doing things right, I don't think we would have a problem. But they've all become such turds, man. Now it's more about getting into politics just so you can get all that money that they get these days. That would have never flown in the past. We've been warned about that too, that over time, the bureaucratic state, the eunuchs and the servants, they're going to keep entrenching their power and securing their power and give themselves unlimited pay raises, and then they think they can take over things. And they stop being good stewards. Looks like fun down there. It might be a business site, a business park being built, but it looks like a racetrack area. Away. We aren't exactly coming down, so we'll do a negative 400 feet per minute. That'll put us. That's so funny. That route that was that I was initially following, I suppose that was more of a just straight direct route, because this GPS route, again, as you saw, took us south, then east, and now we're traveling all the way north. And I think that's what was happening, is that when we took off, all the gates just said, heck with that. Here's the direct route. on the forums, this is what you want to go look for tomorrow's information. December 4th, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. Join the official Twitch channel to receive notifications when the stream goes live. Sim hangs at quit to desktop. That's not my thread. Make missions available as an option in free flight. That'd be cool. I wish kind of like that because I'd like to be able to make money and use my Bushtalk Radio so we have audio stuff as we're traveling around. Please do not disable sim rate in career mode. Title says it all. Now this gets a vote. The thought of this is ridiculous. Would completely ruin career mode for me and most. This I can get behind. So cheat, I guess. I mean, there's nothing really to win. So is it cheating if there's really nothing to win? I mean, sure, you might make money faster, but the end result, what is it? You get to you unlock all the planes, and do you need to do that by next week? I've said actually, I don't really care. You play it the way you want to play it. I used it yesterday. I mean, that was a 3.5 hour flight. Over stuff just like this. Worse. Not a lot to see. Not a lot to... Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. Oh. Spectacular. But I would love to... I loved it when I was using 2020, and I could use NEOFLY, and again, it wasn't part of it. So it has still allowed me to fly anywhere, do career mode stuff, listen to Bushtalk Radio, get all the audio tour stuff. I was very disappointed that Bushtalk doesn't show up here in career mode. Works just fine in free flight. So, might be happy to learn that. Okay, I have to go get some tissue. It's getting nuts. It's coming down slowly but surely. And no, don't call you Shirley, right? Oh yeah, they said the notes are the notes are up for the patch for yesterday. Do. All right, so 3 hours ago, maintenance is now concluded. The fixes, including this maintenance period, were as follows. Fixed a crash that could occur when accessing the career if certain conditions were met. Fixed passive income generating negative amounts. When a passive aircraft is out of order, will take effect starting from midnight GMT. This fix is not retroactive. Fixed a passive income generating negative amounts. When a passive aircraft is out of order. Well, where's the rest? Remove this banner 3 hours ago. It will no longer appear at the top of every page. That's it? Well, I guess that's just possibly today. Here's yesterday. To resolve a crash in career mode discovered by the community following the release of 111 blah blah blah. Okay. Heck. So that's it. Nothing huge. Like we fixed the brakes or we fixed the bugs in the planes and okay. Do. I was watching some YouTube videos last night about the actors from the television show Taxi and reflecting on working with Andy Kaufman and what that was like. And then I ended up moving over to other videos and they were talking about, it was Joe Rogan talking about what it was like. He was talking with somebody about what it was like to work at Saturday Night Live. Jim Brewer. And describing what, you know, what you'd seem like a dream job, not being a dream job at all, just being a nightmare. And just the way that they operate is so, can be so negative. And Joe Rogan says, I have to agree that what you're saying is true, because when we were on our sitcom, whatever it was, talk radio or whatever, it's like Dave Foley, that we ran things entirely different. Everybody was so supportive of one another. And when Phil Hartman came over, he said it took him a long time to trust anyone, or to want to hang out, or to want to be friends, because of the way the lifestyle was over at SNL. And where I'm going with this actually goes to aviation, is about aviation. So Joe Rogan ends up talking about, after a significant amount of time, when Phil Hartman finally relaxed and became friends with everybody, that he got to become friends with them and go hang out at his house and just chill out with them. And he said it was awesome because I can't remember what the first thing was that he enjoyed doing over at Phil's place. He's like looking through all of his aviation books. And I had no idea that Phil Hartman was an aviation fan. And I don't know, did he actually fly? Was he just, did he ever, I don't know anything about it. Anything about Phil Hartman and aviation. But it was awesome hearing, and I'd like to know more. Latest topic: too bright, unrealistic, and over-exaggerated airport and night lighting in MSFS 2024. Bloom too high, light sprites too big, sepia mask is unrealistic. So go into your graphic settings and change it. Right? Do. Well, on the graphics issue, on the lighting issue, give it another 10 years for the computers to be doing way better ray tracing with everything, the whole world. Some things they did take away, like, turning off bloom and other things that you should still have. I don't like it when they take things away. If we had an option in 2020, for the most part, we should have that option in 2024. To go down and say, I don't want to turn on blooms, I don't want to turn on lens flares. So I kind of understand that. With regards to colors, saturations, intensity, then that can usually be controlled, let's say with NVIDIA, in the NVIDIA control panel. You can control the color gamut of your monitor and intensity and saturation. And so in OBS, you can make adjustments for your like live streams. There's turning HDR on and off. That makes a big difference. In AMD, you can, in the adrenaline settings for color for monitors, you can adjust all your monitor stuff there as well. So that's tuned by preference. I don't mind it. I think it looks real to me. That's what I see when I drive around here all the time. The horizon is very, very hazy. Just like that. Sometimes you can see mountains, sometimes you can't. Everything is mostly dry as heck. Doesn't get really pretty green until you get out towards Kansas with all the farmers and stuff. But yeah. A lot of dirt we have here. Do. Okay. Do Asobo fix bugs live without telling us? I don't know. Performance increase in 2020. Anyone else? Honeycomb Bravo. Anybody get lights working in 2024? Golden Age Simulation Stearman Model 75. Night lights are being faded on only one eye at certain angles. So VR topic. Non-functioning electronic flight bag in VR. Unexpected error when selling airplanes. Pilatus PC-12 NGX. Permanent and for career mode. Option to have permanent and for career mode, question mark, meaning that if you crash, your whole progress resets. It would be nice. Obviously optional, since right now there's a ton of bugs that would end your career in 2 minutes. So they want hardcore mode. You die, you die. Wild. People saying that would be a good addition. Arctic Fox says you can already do this. If you crash, just go reset your career. So I'm interested to find out as we move forward and I go into company mode. I almost want to let a plane fall into disrepair in... Again, I hear you can't actually look at all the components and, repair things on a line-by-line basis, and that's far out. It's good. But seeing things fail, having things randomly fail when you're flying around, it doesn't seem to happen at this level without being in a company or owning a company. All your planes are all 100%. You don't have to worry about insurance, any of that stuff. And I don't believe I've had any random failures. This last week, I was showing you that I wanted to bring back random failures. I haven't done that today. We're so close to being done with this mission. I'm almost... do I want to? And why not? Where did I put it? There it is. Random Failures 2020 works beautifully with 2024. And all you got to do is, you don't have to put it in your community folder. It just finds it and runs. It's perfect. Okay. And what we need is a dice roller. D&D dice generator, and I use this one occasionally. You can use whatever one you want, but this is how I do things. All right, we can't control the weather, so I can't add weather in as an option for this. In free flight you can, but right now we only have 7 options to choose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are all the areas that can fail, and each one of these has options that can fail. So since I have 7 of them, I'm going to roll a D8. And if I roll an 8, nothing happens. That's the way D&D goes. We rolled a 7. So something in the other category is going to fail. Oh, that's on. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll roll a D6. And on a 6, nothing happens. A 2. A hydraulic failure. So let me turn that on. Now we need to know what's the percentage chance that it's going to fail. So I'll grab a D100 and roll that sucker. So a 15% chance out of 1,000%. What is that? Well, we'll just set it to 15. So chances are it's not going to happen, which is good. So apply it and save it. And if we go back to presets, here are all the things that can trigger it. Speed, altitude, time, or you can actually cause it to instantly fail, an instant failure. So right now we've got minimum of 50 knots, maximum of 100 knots, minimum of 500 feet, maximum of 10,000 feet, 1 minute, between 1 minute and 60 minutes. Well, they probably have about 30 minutes left. So I'll set that. I'm going to leave instant failure off and hit save. Now go to overview and start. Bring up the fails list and click on show failures. And anytime something fails, it'll pop up right there. So I'll leave that up here. Keep an eye on it. It may go away. I don't know how to make things stay on top in Windows. Is that an option? Make a window stay on top in Windows 11. How to pin a window. To make a window stay on top in Windows 11, you can use the following methods. Install and launch Microsoft Power Toys. Use keyboard shortcuts. Press Windows Control T. To press it, to undo it, press the same shortcut again. Windows Control T. So it's active. That doesn't work. Nope. Activate the always on top feature to pin. To pin a window, simply select the window you want to keep it on top and press Control F11. Nope. We'll have to look for that Windows Power Toys then, because that doesn't work at all. Is this full screen or not? Maybe that's the problem. Aha. No. Do. And what was the other one? Control Windows T. That doesn't work. Control F11 doesn't work. No. Yep. Yep. Aircraft are crazy loud. I'm excited about the electric aircraft to a point. With the Archer, they're saying that you can get 150 miles out of it. Now, I'm sure that comes with one of those disclaimers that, well, provided every passenger that you have is under 170 pounds, provided that each passenger doesn't have a carry-on or cargo of more than 50 pounds, then you might get, not taking into account weather or anything else, you'll get 150 miles out of it. Now, if they can guarantee under the maximum load, maxed out, that you can do 150, it's pretty cool. I look forward to some batteries like that. I really would rather that they developed hybrid, especially for things like the Joby, because 15 minutes isn't a lot of time either. And again, that's provided that you're only shuttling around small petite ladies and their dogs. Maybe some shopping. Hello.
Hello, are you streaming?
Yeah.
Okay, I am calling to say hi, and I will call when.
Okay.
All right, love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. I mean, the noise reduction, far out. I don't remember where I read it, but the philosophy that a perfect engine makes no noise, that everything runs so fluidly that it doesn't make noise. But, when you're dealing with internal combustion, literally things are exploding. But it's quite the concept. So hours and hours of flying, my ears get beat in, and we're not even listening to it at the actual decibels, and I understand why they wear the big ass earphones, it's just so freaking loud. So yeah, that is one of the promising things about what's coming. There was a thread up a couple of days ago asking what's the best new plane in 2024, or what are the best new planes in 2024, and my votes were for the Joby and the Archer Midnight, because to me that is the future of aviation. That's where we're going. So and that's vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. Okay. there's a very real concern, and we've been hearing about it for years from the FAA and the commercial area, that there won't be enough qualified pilots in the next 20 years to support the infrastructure. That too hard, maybe? Too hard, too complicated, too dangerous, too everything. And too expensive. And so it's kind of backfired on them in some way that, by locking everything down so tight. Or now it's quite unobtainable for most people without money to even think about wanting to fly. And then everything that's actually involved in just getting a private pilot license. You quickly go, I don't have the time. I can't do this. This is just too much. Costs too much. Everything about it is just too much. So they put it out of reach. We're back in before the FAA was even a thing in this country. You had people all over the place wanting to get into it. All the revolutionary changes were happening. People were trying to build their own and come up with, try this, try that, try this, try that. Then the FAA, no, you can't do this, and you can't do that, and you can't do this, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. And I understand. Got to have some sort of degree of rules and control. But I think ultimately that is what has led to this point where they're all freaking out. Well, thankfully, technology waits for no man and advances. And that we now have things like the Joby and the Archer that are coming to the real world in someplace near you soon, probably. From what I'm hearing. And if it is at all similar to what we can experience here in the simulator, it solves all of their problems. Solves everybody's problems. And in a way, opens it up again for anybody to want to get into flying. And it could be huge, huge, huge for advancing everyday people flying. There are a lot of things that now I, as a simulator pilot, now from an FAA perspective, we need to see controlled to a certain degree. Because right now we don't have micro navigation. So most of these people that could easily jump into aviation now by using something with that technology, they're going to be using it for taxis, for getting around town, from getting across town, from, short hops. And we don't have any infrastructure for, you don't have any landing areas at your local Walmart, or Home Depot, or they don't have any places for that technology to come in and land and do your business. We don't have any way to navigate from the airport to the Walmart, to Joe's Tavern, to Grandma's house, to, there is no avionics package at the moment where it's like Bing Maps and we can just click on it and go, okay, I wanted to go this person, I got to pick this person up, I got to deliver this person here, like an Uber. I got to pick up some fast food. I've got to deliver it across town and do a DoorDash over here. Got to take this lady to Walmart, right? So we need something that's fast and quick like that, like Bing Maps, avionics. Unfortunately, the people that created the Joby and the Archer, I haven't found any of the videos that they've made and put on YouTube yet or on their own site, which walks you through everything. Reading through the manual and trying to figure it out, especially when they're talking about a 2-joystick system, it's thrown a lot of people off. It's not intuitive. It doesn't have an EFB. It doesn't have checklists. So trying to just figure out how it works, it's causing engines to blow left and right. And if I were the people that made the 2 aircraft that demonstrate the future of where we're going, I would make sure that I had YouTube videos up explaining how to operate the thing on day 1 of this 2024 release. I would explain how to set it up with a joystick, how to do your keybinds. Everybody should be screaming from the rooftops right now. You've got to fly these planes. If you're thinking that you can't fly and that flying is going to be too difficult, it's going to be too hard, you watch all of us live streamers and you're like, they can't do that. It's too much. These are the aircraft for you, my friend. Never fear ever again that you can't get into aviation. Because in 30 minutes, you're going to be flying like a pro. You're not going to be afraid of takeoffs. You're not going to be afraid of landings. Navigation, again, is going to be probably the hardest thing at the moment. But you'll figure it out. Other than that, once you understand how to fly these things, you can fly anywhere with precision. Take off and land with precision. Even the landings are assisted now. So all you got to do is tell it to land, push down, or do whatever you need to do to make the aircraft descend. And at a certain point, it's going to keep descending, but it's going to be handling how you touch down. So like in helicopters, landing is still a pain in the butt. There is no auto assist in helicopters. You've got to know how to land softly. These things are like, just tell it to land, man. Don't be afraid. See? Taking away the fear factor, taking away that. Oh, you don't have enough runway? Just push the joystick forward, it'll go straight up. Doesn't necessarily stop on a dime, but those are little things that you'll learn you'll learn it. So, yeah, I think in a few years from now, you're going to be seeing news stories like, and they're not going to explain it. They're just going to sensationalize it by saying, grandmother, 92 years old, flies family across the United States. Right? Or disabled man flies family across the United States. Whatever. They're going to make it sound like, oh my God, this is, it's amazing. They're not, eventually they'll tell you, well, Jane Smith was flying her family across the United States in a Archer Midnight with the latest flying technology, which is very, very, very simple. She had to learn a few things about filing flight plans, contacting airports and such. But with just a bit of training, Grandma Jones was able to do a cross country with her family and get them all there safe. I want to use those in career mode. Does anybody know if we can use those yet? In the market, the people haven't posted the price list yet, and I'm surprised about that. I haven't seen any yet. I'm curious. I'm curious as to the prices of things. So, would that allow me to purchase the Skyvan? And would I be able to purchase a Joby or Archer? That'd be fantastic. I would love to do these little tiny missions. These short ones with that. Those. Sounds fantastic. Some days I get frustrated flying these, doing these career mode stuff, and that's what I want. I'm like, Lord Almighty, these landings, this is crap, man. Why would I ever want to do this kind of landing ever again? Why would I ever want to fly these aircraft, which are just inherently unsafe, like especially the tail draggers? Why would I ever want to put myself into that position with 1,000 horsepower monster bush plane when I could just easily hover over the area that I want and descend and land? The thought of killing yourself every second trying to do a takeoff and landing in these things, even with planes I'm comfortable with, even with the Cessna, things go wrong, every other plane, horrible landings, dealing with crosswinds, dealing with everything. There's always a chance you're going to die. But with this new stuff, yeah, there still is. I mean, well, one, I'm still trying to figure them out, and I'm doing things, and I run out of battery and fall out of the sky and kill myself. Don't know what I'm doing, actually switch off the engines. But again, that's lack of manuals. I mean, once I fully understand how the thing operates, I won't ever have any of those problems again. I don't ever have to worry about killing myself doing anything in an aircraft ever again. We just need them to now be more zippy. I can't wait for the high performance ones. I mean, truly high performance sport models. Like the little Jetson, right? You see, but even that thing isn't the zippiest thing. That thing's like a flying Ginsu, man. That actually kind of frightens me. People being in those and being stupid, being drunk, or anything. That's just a flying blade factory. I don't understand why they can't create some sort of ring at a certain point around them. Also, in case a blade flies off, man, the chance of it getting trapped as opposed to taking your head off. But even those are very cool. I mean, but not super, super fast yet. It's like we've not been moving at all. Yeah, we're getting there. Thanks for hanging out today. This has been a really, really long flight. Yeah, and we're really close to Denver. Going back to that conversation when I was talking to myself earlier about population expansion. Denver is literally just over my left shoulder out there that way. And looking down here, if you had no idea, you have no idea that a major, humongous city is just over there that way. So yeah, outside of major cities, this is what the rest of the world pretty much looks like. It's just open and empty. Oh yeah, anyway, going back to the drone flying. Yeah. Have you seen drone racing on TV at all? Those things are fast, man. And the precision on the things. What people are able to do flying these drones. Now, can you imagine one scaled up that has that kind of performance? Oh, it's going to be glorious. I remember my uncle growing up, he really was convinced he saw a UFO, and I don't know if he did or not, but the flight characteristics he was describing was a high-performance drone. He's like, I'd never seen fly and just turn the way this aircraft was moving in the air, the angles it was moving at. We don't have anything that can do that. Perhaps we do. Oh, we were also talking about, more futuristic things that are coming that are also going to take the load off. Now we start moving into the area where it's kind of like this. We're on autopilot. There's really not a lot for us to do, but just keep monitoring that the plane doesn't do anything crazy. But we still have to manage the landing and blah, 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 blah. Well, pretty soon the autopilot and the AI avionics, we will be able to talk to our aircraft. So, hey R2, I've got grandma in the back. Take me to the nearest Walmart. So when you think about a lot of people now getting involved with aviation coming into the future and the simplicity of it all, that being able to route people efficiently, that goes back to the micro navigation. Having the ability to quickly file some sort of flight plans that go to a centralized computer that can manage everybody moving around. How is that going to work? What happens when, let's say, on a simple level, I'm going to operate an inner-city taxi using these new drones, and so are you. And I have a fleet of 10, and you have a fleet of 10. And here comes another guy, and he wants to do the same thing, but he wants to do door dashes, and another guy that wants to just do this. So now we've got, let's say, 100 planes. 100 aircraft, I shouldn't say airplane. They all, blah, blah, whatever. 100 aircraft in over, let's say, Denver that we want to operate. How do we then ensure the way that air traffic control manages all flights above us and around us? How do we do the same thing but in the inner city so that my guys aren't running into your guys and your guys aren't running into my guys? And who's going to handle the filing of flight plans and how's that going to be done? And what happens when we both want to go to Walmart at the same time? So I can see how computers will be able to help a lot with this. But then there's that aspect of there are the independent folks out there. The idea of not flying physically, I'm sure drives a lot of them mad. Like, I love flying. I like flying. I like being hands-on. I want to control everything. We've got to find that sweet spot for people that want a free flight in the system. It all doesn't seem so impossible now because of where we're at computationally technologically. Whereas in the past, my brain would have exploded. Just the thought, and no, we can't, it's going to be impossible. And now it doesn't seem impossible at all. The speed, computers are working all of this stuff that's going on, calculating every little bit. Good thing I topped up. Because on this flight, I don't think, even with the full tank, I think I might have to top up again. I could have tried leaning it a lot more. Normally I do. Normally I'll try to get it to 2300 and I'll just lean it out as far as I can. But then on the final results of the scoring, they're like plane handling, or I usually get dinged really hard for messing with my mixture, and I don't really dig that. So normally when I do that, I'm still getting good burn. I'm not overheating anything. We're not getting anything coming out of the EGT. You know, the exhaust is just cool. Still able to maintain a cruise. Although we might be starving the engine, but it's not causing any damage. And so I don't know, at least I'm going to have to talk to some mechanics about that. But normally I can lean this thing out real far. So if I would have done that when we first took off and got into cruise, but they want it up in here. I have to keep testing that. It could have just been because I was pushing maybe, I don't know if it was pushing the engine too much and keeping it still up in here, leaned out up in the, but normally I don't. Normally I try to just make everything run real slow and groovy so I get no EGT. There's 2300. See the EGT? It's bottomed out. Put your hand on the exhaust, on the tailpipe out there, cool air. The engine's not overheating. It's just spinning. We're still consuming fuel. I wish they could work this out a little bit more. I think this is they call that fuel injected. It's not carburetor. But I don't even think we need that much fuel running at all. So I still wish there was a way for me to test that. Well, let me pull it all the way back out and see what it does. Let's look at our just watch the fuel. Yeah, not really much change at all. So yeah, I mean, just lowering the mix isn't choking the fuel off enough. But doing that, if I do that, end up with using so little fuel. You feel a little heat off the EGT, but not much off the tailpipe. Exhaust. They don't really have tailpipes on these. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Yeah, I was saying when we took off earlier, the flight plan that we have in our GPS is radically different from the boxes flying through the air. They had the boxes, if we would have just followed it, would have taken us straight over the mountain, straight here. But the flight plan in the Garmin was completely different, taking us south first, then east, and then now all the way to the north above it to come in. So who knows how the scoring is going to go on that? Was it? Maybe it was, I don't remember which comedian was saying it. It's like, we used to be much smarter in the past, like gearheads. When you bought a car or an automobile, you would get a manual that would talk to you about tuning up your own vehicle and how to adjust cylinder heads and everything else. And he's like, now they just tell you not to drink the battery acid. Let's see if we've had any sort of hydraulics failure. I don't really know that we have any hydraulics in the Cessna at all. I really don't think so. It's all fly-by-wire stuff. Yeah, and we only had a 15% chance of something failing. We're getting awful close to the end. Let's up the odds. Let's roll again. So back to a D8. Nothing happens on an 8. A 3. Let's go and stop our failures. Go to the presets. Number 3. A fuel problem. Speaking of fuel. So we have 3 things. So we'll roll a D4 and on a 4, nothing happens. A 4, nothing happens. Let's roll again. A 4, nothing happens. Roll again. A 2. Left fuel tank leakage. And the last time we had that, it was 32%. Now we have a 66%. But this is out of 1,000, so we'll set it to 660. turn it on, save, overview, and start. And fail list, show fails. Left fuel tank leakage has started, and it was triggered at 1,696 feet. That was the trigger. So we are definitely leaking fuel now, so I would have to do what I was doing. Try to keep this thing leaned out as far as possible to try to prevent it from using so much fuel. Are we on just left only? Where are we at? Okay, let's turn this to both. So we still have the full right tank, if I'm reading that correctly. Well, that should be set to both. See what happens when I push this back in. That's cool. Somebody's got a video up of model trains running at scale speed. Paperclip on a wire has posted model trains running at scale speed. It's actually quite cool. I don't know if it ends. I don't think it's going to end with like any of the Japanese planes. No, it's all on rails. That's very cool. You see it like starting with older models or I don't know. I really don't know anything about trains. But each new clip shows a faster and faster type of train. Just all butt. Very nice. Okay. Still heading to, are we at top of descent yet? It says TOD is still up ahead. Yeah, well, we're coming down. You deserve 1,000 frequent flyer miles for tuning into this live stream today. Another long one. But these cargo missions in the Cessna right at the moment are my safest bet. To not have anything go wrong, to not lose a whole bunch of reputation. Still make pretty good money. Those medical flights, it's too bad. I mean, they pay good, but 3 hours and 30 minutes. Need to get my reputation back up to an A. We unlocked firefighting last night, but today can't get any, and that seems to be, it might have something to do with our reputation being low. Ooh, that's a good one to watch later. Judd Hirsch on Andy Kaufman. He's one of the only cast member I haven't really heard from. Well, there's a couple of them. Talking about Andy Kaufman. I haven't heard Christopher Lloyd talk about him yet. I want to see what he has to say. What a strange fellow he was. Realistic ferry flight planning. Real airline pilot is doing career mode right now, V1 simulations. It says, real airline pilot live, starting from scratch, career mode, episode 2. Realistic ferry flight planning, real airline pilot, career mode. I don't know what he's talking about, realistic ferry flight planning. It's all set for you. You've got to fly him to a destination and then fly him in a circle, and I don't know where you could do any of, or maybe I'm thinking of the wrong ones. A ferry flight, is that where you're just maybe just taking a plane somewhere? Yeah, you can set those up, I suppose. Yeah, it looks like he has nice charts. Like I'm looking at the electronic flight bag he's using. Yeah, I guess I haven't. A lot of these airports I go to, they don't have any charts loaded in here. Yeah, see. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'm not building it right or whatever. But you'd think that it would be set in here. I really don't even see how you kind of set it up. Like, where's my departure? Where's my arrival? Right. Okay, here we go. Find route, add waypoint. This is an RNAV 15. And then I suppose if you set it up here, you can file it and send route. I don't know if that's working. I've already set it up. I already looked at the chart from SkyVector earlier. Where is SkyVector? Heard of this? Nope, that's the dice roller. So that's what we're doing. We're coming into Z-tax now. We'll be hitting this point here. Plane should turn, or I should probably turn on load the approach. It's supposed to go Z-tax, then to Judney, then to Jorel, and then down to runway 15. So I think I have that all set right. Just let me go to flight plan. Yeah, Z-tax. Go to procedures. Activate vector to final activate approach. Okay, so what's it doing? It's going to Z-tax. Same as before. We've got a glide slope diamond. Although it's not going to be an ILS. I don't know how it'll handle that. Oh, you know what I did not do? I did not get the local METAR. Let's see if we can get it. No.
Kilo Sierra Tango Kilo Automated Weather Observation 2300 Zulu. Wind 18 tree at 6. Visibility 10. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 8 seat dew point. -2 seek altimeter 301901. Kilo Sierra Tango Kilo Automated Weather Observation 2300 Zulu. Wind
4038.
Visibility 10. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 8 seat dew point. -2 seek altimeter 301901. Kilo Sierra Tango Kilo Automated Weather Observation 2300 Zulu. Wind 18 tree at 6. Visibility 10. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 8 seat dew point. -2 seek altimeter 301901.
I've never heard it do 190, and what's the extra 2?
Zulu. Wind 18.
3019.
Visibility 10.
Kilo Sierra Tango Kilo Traffic Kin Bravo Bravo Foxtrot 1 tree 911 miles northwest 8,200 feet inbound to land runway 15.
I forgot to look at the 5,800 by Judney. 5,800. 5.7. I probably better control the vertical descent, so all right, coming down 400 to 500 feet per minute. I'm getting ready to make our turn. Come on, smooth it out. No. Huh. Okay, so it is going to do that. Spin around. Cool. Why people are buying the Turtle Beach Velocity flight deck. It looks pretty cool. I'm just using the joystick. I don't even have foot pedals yet. I really do want to get foot pedals. I want to learn how to do the rudder with my feet. I think it would. I'm imagining it's going to be better than using the Sidewinder, because no matter what, when you're using the Sidewinder, you can't always be sure that you're just doing a side to side, a twist. Seems that you're always introducing either some forward or backward motion into it.
Kilo Sierra Tango, Kilo Traffic Kin, Bravo Bravo Foxtrot 139er is on final runway 15 to land.
We got the wind behind us a little bit. We should probably actually, well, it's just going to be a crosswind. So we should probably just set it up for landing at the other side of the runway at this point. Yeah, we should really. But we've already announced final. Let's see. No, I'll just leave it. I want to see if this thing will do an approach. But I don't think there's any ILS thing, but I want to see if it'll do like a GPS approach. Yeah, we have a glide slope diamond. It's just not illuminated. We have a diamond now. Okay, hit an approach. Sure enough. They're trying to get 75 knots, close to anyway. I'm just doing power management. I'm not touching the joystick at all at the moment. Kind of getting away from me. Come on, slow down. Don't lose control. Come on. Hang in there. Starting to lose a little bit. Put some power in.
Sierra Tango, Kilo Traffic Kin, Bravo Bravo Foxtrot 139er is on final runway 15 to land.
All right, turning off the autopilot now. Killing the throttle and doing a little bit of a flare. Right. All right.
Kilo Traffic Kin, Bravo Bravo Foxtrot 139er is taxiing to parking.
One of the things I was personally impressed with when starting 2024 is my local home airport looks really different. In 2020, the terrain isn't accurate. And in 2024, the terrain is very accurate around the my local airport. Or so it seems. I can't say I've ever really been out there. It's just dramatically different from the 2020 version. The buildings are a little bit different, but the terrain is what's most eye-opening. I forgot to turn my landing light on. This is too dangerous to be moving around in here. This is going to cause a crash. Yeah, and I forgot to turn my landing light on. That's nice. Again, I think this has to do with me fiddling with my mixture. And yeah, there was a couple of times where my turns were a little excessive after takeoff. So I probably shouldn't have turned to that degree. So I think that accounts for that. Procedures, you know, we follow the GPS. We didn't follow the boxes this time, so I've never got 125%. Probably the best one I've done on live stream so far, so I'm happy about that. Fantastic. Okay, I don't think I'm going to do a live stream this evening. This cold has been kicking my butt. I got ache in my teeth and everything else. And I think I just need to take it easy tonight, get some rest and get some sleep and try to get over this cold for tomorrow. But I will, either I'll be live streaming the developer interview or I'll be over on Twitch with everybody else just tuned in. And so that's 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow for the developer live stream, and I don't think you should miss it. If you have questions, don't miss it. It'll be up afterward though if you have, you know, real life. So I will see you tomorrow. Great. Hopefully we qualified now back for those firefighter. Let's see. Medic. Don't want to do that. You need to complete all the specializations. I don't understand. We've got them all. Not available. I mean, we did one last night. Oh, I see. There's extended attack. This is just a different type. Initial attack. I wish we had a filter for these. No, I don't see any. Oh well, maybe later.